You are about to witness a moment that will go down in history. One of the most shocking, explosive, and striking moments in modern congressional history. Representative Jasmine Crockett just placed a bomb in front of Attorney General Pam Bondi. And Bondi? Bondi had no clear answer to give. She had no words to say. We're talking about the Epstein files. Thousands of victims. Thousands of children. And zero, yes, zero accountability. Zero justice. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications because moments like this move fast and you don't want to miss them. Let's set the scene. Attorney General Pam Bondi had already been testifying for hours. House Judiciary Committee. Questions about the Epstein investigation, victim protection, justice. Everything was under control. Then Jasmine Crockett took the stand. And the room instantly changed. Because Crockett didn't start with traditional questioning. She turned to her colleague and asked three simple moral questions. Is it wrong to harm children? Is it wrong to kill innocent people? Is it wrong to fail to protect victims? The answer came instantly. Wrong. 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 Crockett's message was crystal clear. Getting clear moral answers in that courtroom, especially from the country's chief legal officer, had become very difficult. Then Crockett turned around. He looked at the people sitting behind the witness stand. Epstein's victims. The survivors. And he said something to them. He told them they had more courage than the institutions supposedly responsible for delivering justice. The room fell silent. Because this was no longer about politics. It was about humanity. Then Crockett turned to Bondi. And the fire started. Attorney General Bondi, he said, over 1,000 victims. Linked to Jeffrey Epstein's trafficking network. Federal statute requires protecting their identities. But when the documents were released, many victims' names, phone numbers, addresses were exposed. How did that happen? Bondi tried to give a general answer. The process was complex. There were many documents. Crockett didn't accept that. No. I'm asking a simple question. 1,000 victims. They needed to be protected. But they weren't. Who is responsible? Silence. And Crockett seized on that silence. Look, he said, at America. The Attorney General can't answer. Because there is no answer. Either there was incredible negligence. Or deliberate failure. Subscribe if you want to follow this development. Because Crockett just started. Then Crockett dug deeper. Attorney General, he said, you served as chief prosecutor in Florida for 8 years. You worked on sexual assault cases. Protecting the identities of victims was your priority, wasn't it? Bondi, of course. Always? Always. Then explain. 18 years of experience. You know how important victim protection is. And yet 1,000 victims were not protected. How? Bondi couldn't answer. Because, Crockett continued, raising his voice, there are two possibilities. Either you and your team are incredibly incompetent. Or your priorities are wrong. Let's look at the first option. 500 lawyers forgot about victim protection. Possible? Maybe. But I don't believe it. Second option, the priorities were wrong. 500 lawyers were focused on something else. What? Crockett paused. Clearing Donald Trump's name. The room erupted. Reporters started writing. Cameras zoomed in. Because look, Crockett continued, those same 500 lawyers perfectly cleared Trump's name. Every reference. Every document. Flawless. But they failed to protect 1,000 victims. How? Because that was their priority. Protect Trump. Forget the victims. Bondi tried to object, but Crockett wasn't finished. And now here's the worst part, he said. Those victims are here. In this room. They're sitting behind me. They appealed to the Justice Department. They were denied. Their names were made public. And you, Attorney General Bondi, didn't even look at them. Crockett's voice cracked. He wasn't emotional. He was angry. 500 lawyers couldn't protect them. And you won't accept them. What does that say about priorities? What does that say about this justice system? Bondi remained facing forward. He didn't turn around. And in that moment, he said it all. The victims don't matter. Power matters. And the Attorney General chose power. Crockett asked the final question. Attorney General Bondi, will you apologize to those 1,000 victims? Will you turn around and say, I'm sorry, we couldn't protect you? 18 seconds of silence. Bondi didn't turn around. He didn't apologize. And those 18 seconds defined the hearing. Because that silence was an answer. No. I won't apologize. I won't turn around. Crockett leaned back. Your answer is on record. Or your lack of one. Then he summed it up, 1,000 victims. 500 lawyers. 0 protection. And 0 accountability. America, he said, this is your justice system. The powerful are protected. The victims are forgotten. And no one is held accountable. I wonder how history will judge this. But I know. Because history will remember who those 1,000 victims were. And it will remember who failed them. Subscribe if you want to follow this story. Share it. Because this isn't just a trial. It's a fight for justice. The hearing continued, but it was effectively over. Crockett had recorded 3 things. 1. 1,000 victims were not protected. Bondi made no statement. 2. 500 lawyers protected Trump and forgot the victims. 3. Bondi did not return, did not apologize, did not accept. Within minutes, the clip exploded. Crockett scolded Bondi. 1,000 victims forgotten. Bondi did not apologize. Millions of views. Because these weren't just numbers. They were people. Real people who survived Epstein's evil. And the system failed them. 500 lawyers but 0 protection. How? Why? The answer is clear, the priorities were wrong. Crockett's strategy was perfect. First, he established the moral ground, harming children is wrong. Then he humanized the victims, they are here, in this courtroom. Then he showed the numbers, 1,000 victims, 500 lawyers. Then he drew the contrast, Trump was protected, the victims were forgotten. Then he asked the moral question, will you apologize? And Bondi was pushed further into a corner with every step. Because numbers don't lie. And that 18-second silence said it all. Those 1,000 victims are still waiting. For justice. For accountability. And for recognition. Crockett gave them a voice. He saw them. He cared about them. And he showed all of America, the system failed. But the fight isn't over. Don't miss this story. Subscribe and watch to see if those 1,000 victims will get justice. Share it. Because democracy depends on informed citizens. Citizens who ask tough questions. And that's what Crockett did. He asked the tough question. And he didn't get an answer. But the whole world saw. And now everyone knows.